Good afternoon. It is Thursday, February 11th, and I'm in the middle of mixing up some more dough to try making pasta again. Now, last time, they said the minimum amount of time to let it sit after you've made the dough is a half hour, and I let it sit a half hour, literally set a timer. So probably, from some advice I've been given, thank you, probably needed to sit a little longer. Also, my dough last time was really hard to get to come together because it was just, it basically seemed like the ratio was off. Like there was too much flour to egg. And I'd actually had to adjust it a little bit, and I used an extra glug of oil. This time, rather than doing that, I'm going to assume, thinking about it, that most likely where it's off is the number of eggs. Because eggs come in a variety of sizes, and the ratio that I got was 100 grams of flour to 1 egg. And maybe they were using extra large eggs, and I just have large eggs, and so I just added an extra, most of an extra egg. I left a little egg white behind the bowl, so I'm going to adjust it that way, see what it looks like. If I need to add a little more flour, I can do that, and I don't have to worry too much because I added extra egg. But yeah, basically working with that. I'm gonna get it mixed up, and then you gotta figure out a way. How do I make sure that that sits in the fridge for a couple of hours? Well, you make something else to eat. So I made some tacos, and that way I'll have something to eat. I'll be full for a couple of hours at least, and then I can try and finish making the pasta. Now, because I added some extra egg, some extra flour, if it works, I don't know the exact ratio. Obviously, if it works, I'm going to be producing a little more than I probably want. So I'm guessing if it works, try and reduce the flour by 10 to 20%, maybe. But it will definitely be something I have to work with as I go to figure out what it actually is, because I don't know. Because I added extra stuff that wasn't measured. But we'll see what comes out of it. For now, tacos are delicious. So at least I got tacos. Which also means that I've at least eaten. So if it turns out bad, I don't feel like I have to eat it. That's important. Because last time I felt like I had to eat it, and I felt bad after doing so. So now, the dough has been sitting for like 2 or 3 hours. So if this fails, it's not because it didn't sit long enough. But that's not saying it's not going to fail. So there's a fairly good chance it will. If it fails, it will be because I went off recipe. And the reason I say that is because I went off recipe. And I used a different ratio than I was instructed to. Why? I don't know. Seemed like a good idea like 2 or 3 hours ago. Now that I'm getting ready to roll it out, I'm like, probably not. Probably would have been better just to stick with the recipe and only change one thing at a time. But, mistakes happen. Okay, sticky dough, which is very sticky dough. Definitely have something to do with ratios. I am currently heating up water and feeling like, oh man, wasn't I feeling optimistic when I pulled this out? What am I going to need that water for? That, right under that finger, that felt thin. Oh, hold on. Come with me and you'll see something that's encouraging. Oh my god, switch them. See right here? You can see the wood grain through the dough. Yeah, that's thin. We're getting there. Okay, we're getting somewhere. The edges are scraps that get thrown away because not only they're like, oh, you can throw them away because they're not even. It's not really even that. It's because they're thicker. I folded it and cut it. Is it gonna mush it all together? Maybe a little more than I want. Unfold it, it's twice as much cutting, but it might turn out better. Okay, does feel very thin. I'm hopeful, and I got a lot more cutting and a whole nother block to roll out, so we'll see. And so I have made homemade pasta, and the rolling of the noodles actually was not the difficult part this time. That's much better. You can tell that is an unusually wide noodle. Let's pick this one. That was probably an early one. So I'm gonna have this. But I will say, this time around, I'd let it rest enough. It was not the rolling of the noodles that was the super difficult part. This time it was the cutting them. Because now that they're rolled thin, there's a lot more dough. It's probably twice as much dough to cut because it was half as thick as it was last time. So cutting it was an ordeal. Cutting it was annoying. And that was definitely a lot better than the first time around. Definitely making progress on pasta. Not there yet. I knew that I would be able to roll it out thin enough. And I was confident in that. So when people would recommend things like one of the little automated rollers, I was like, I don't need that. Maybe if I get a KitchenAid, I'll get one of the mechanical ones, because it'll be fancy. But I don't need one to roll it thin. However, after dealing with cutting it, I could see using one that also allowed you to have a roller that was a knife that would cut strips. That I could see as being worthwhile. Very much so. So maybe I'll think about it. Still working on the recipe, definitely. Because, I don't have anything that can be even consistent at this point. And I don't think it's what I did for the sauce, because other than the ratio, the amounts being off because of the different amount of pasta, because that was a lot of pasta. Because I already made a little bit of a larger amount, and then I had to add extra to it to balance out the ratios. So that was more probably than I intended. But I have like a sticky, rough maybe feeling on my tongue. It's unusual. Maybe it's just that there was a lot of flour that was just ended up in the water, because there was just flour on the outside of the pasta, because I didn't get it all dusted off because it was really sticky. Again, ratio issue. And so maybe that was it. I don't know. I do not know. I just now remember in that sorted video, he shows using a pizza cutter to cut the strips of pasta. I have pizza cutters. Why didn't I use a pizza cutter? I'm so stupid. Hopefully by saying that now, I'll remember it. Maybe that'll be a simple solution to try in the future. Because as of this point, it's not enough better to be worth the effort compared to dried pasta. But it is good enough to keep trying and seeing if I can get it to that point. So, yeah, interesting. You know, making pasta is what it is. But, it did definitely take a while. Probably took close to 45 minutes or an hour just to roll out, cut, and cook. And it cooks super fast. So, yeah, long time. Oh well, it's late. It's Thursday, so I got one more day of work. Then to the weekend. As cold of a weekend as it may be. Thank you for joining me. Join me as my journey continues. Bye.